Hi there. Welcome to the Mind Your Liberty video podcast. Thanks for joining me today for the very first video in this series. Today, it's going to be a shorter video. I just want to get out there what you can expect on this channel. What are some of the things on my heart that I want to be covering in this channel, and then to make a start. So we've already done that. This is the very first video of hopefully very many to come. And as far as what you can expect, I'm going to refer you to my cover photo, which I'll bring up here, a Samuel Adams quote on it here, that all men might be free if they valued freedom and defended it as they should. Very famous quote. I love it so much I put it on my cover photo. So that begs the question. I'll put that back up. That begs the question, why should we value freedom? Why should we value liberty? How do we defend it? So I'm going to be kind of breaking that down and looking at why do we need to defend it? How do we defend liberty? What are some of the tools the enemy uses? Who is our enemy? How do we make this defense against tyranny and for pro-liberty? So those are all things I'm going to be looking at over this next several years. And I'm just getting started. I work a full-time job. Don't be expecting me to quit my day job just yet. So as things you can be expecting to see here, I'm going to have some interviews. In fact, I've got an interview just this couple weeks here coming up. I think you all are going to enjoy very much. Hopefully get the podcast off the ground. We're going to be covering interviews with friends of mine that I get to talk with, where we just wax eloquent and philosophical and a little bit goofy, but I think it's important to have those ideas grow, and all the better if we can share on this platform where we can all grow together. And that's really a large part of why I want to do this video, is because I have been waking up, if you want to call it that, over the past several years, probably 3-4 years. Really, my eyes have been opened, and I've been learning so much about liberty and its roots. And I want to share that because I look around me today in the world around me, and I see, as the tyranny increases, I see people waking up all the more. And I want to be there for folks to help speed them along on their journey. So let me get a sip here. Got some coffee. And so we're going to be looking at interviews, conversations, and some of them might be on topic. Some of them might be kind of seeming like off topic. I'm going to try and stick to broad spectrum liberty, but I might get more local. I might get a little bit off topic into just life stuff, but that's okay, right? It's my channel. Make the videos about what I want, but if you like it, hopefully you'll follow along and maybe even learn a thing or two as we learn together. Secondly, we're going to be looking at books. As I have the privilege of reading good books, I get a little bit of time to read books once in a while. A lot of them I listen to, and so as I look through books, I'll bring them on here, kind of do a video review, maybe read some excerpts, show you. Hopefully I can inspire you to read the book, or at least communicate some principles that I learned that are in the context of liberty and how we value it, how we defend it, and why we should. And so then we're going to be looking at some historical documents, which of course there is a treasure trove out there. I know, like, it's limitless basically. So we're going to be just scratching the surface on some of this stuff. I especially like the American Revolutionary period. It's one of my favorite periods of history. And so we're going to be looking at that to kind of dig into what kind of circumstances, what was the recipe for what happened in the American Revolution? How did I believe the greatest country in the world get born back then? What was the role of Providence in that? And what are we lacking today as we see kind of a rebirth going on right now? And we see a lot of the same situations going on. And so we're going to be diving into the historical documents, and I'll be offering some commentary. Honestly, I'm very uneasy about offering commentary on this stuff because I'm such a novice. But let me get this out of the way. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to say things that are wrong. I'm going to say things you don't necessarily agree with. Please comment on whatever platform you're listening on, which right now is just YouTube and Odyssey. But drop a comment. If you have a question, leave a question. I'd love to be able to learn with you and have a conversation so that we can learn together. And but I think it's important to at least have the conversation. I want to reach my network. I want to reach you. I'm thankful that you're here. So thanks for being here again. And then also, I'm going to just be reading some historical documents because, like I said, I get an opportunity to listen to a lot of stuff. I don't get to read with a book in front of me quite as much as I'd like to right now in this stage of life. But there is a lot of information, a lot of documents you can listen to, but there's a lot more that are not available in audiobook or recorded format. And so I know I like to listen to stuff, so when I find stuff that I read that I'm like, man, I wish I could find this in audiobook format, I'm going to make that available. And I don't know how to actually make it available on audiobook platforms just yet, but we'll get there. For right now, I might just serialize it in episodes on this channel and then compile it and have it available for download maybe on a website at some point. That's all later down the road. So you'll have to excuse me on this first channel. I got a screen over here, and a camera up there. And so I'm trying to learn what's best here. But again, thank you for being with me here on this first channel. I think, I think the tyranny is going to increase. I think hard times are going to get harder. And I kind of view it like that scene in Taken where with Liam Neeson, Neeson's on the phone with his daughter in France, and his daughter saying, they're breaking in the house, they're going to take me. And Liam says, be still. You have to realize they're going to take you. I want you to tell me everything you see. Shout out everything you see, what color, where they're from, skin color, all that. It's kind of where we're at, I feel like, in this epoch of history. I feel like it's going to get harder before it gets better. But while we're on the slide down, doggone it, let's do everything we can to hasten us climbing out in a platform of liberty, to expand liberty. Because I think in every epoch of history, you see that tyranny kind of rebirths into some new form of liberty. And so hopefully we can learn more about that. And so I, again, really thank you for being with me on this video. I've rambled a little bit. Hopefully I'll get better at that as we move along. Again, this is the very first video. I'm stoked. Thanks for being here. I can't commit to any specific release schedule for new content right now. Basically, it's going to be when I have time to make content, when I have the motivation to do it. So I'm going to try and get it out. If I see a lot of interest in the first few videos, maybe that'll motivate me to do more. And so be sure and subscribe on the platform YouTube, on Odyssey. Subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know when I do upload new podcasts. And also, go like me on Odyssey. If you're listening on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, go watch me on Odyssey. Subscribe over there because, unfortunately, liberty is not a topic that they like to talk about there, because liberty involves critical thinking and free thinking, and it involves departing from maybe the mainstream narrative. So they don't like that too much on YouTube, as we're seeing them clamp down. So if one day I'm not here, you'll always be able to find me on Odyssey. It's a censorship-resistant platform that will always be there, I believe, and I'll always be uploading content there as long as I have the channel. So without further ado, thank you again so much for being here with me today, and I'm excited about what we're going to get to look into the next several years, next week at least. Again, I got a good guest coming on, and in the meantime, remember to mind your liberty.